I think the hardest thing for a lot of people with people pleasing, obviously you'd be more apt to speak on it than me, but um, is the fear of being different. Um, Personally, I'm gonna talk a little bit about my experience when like early in high school, I just wanted to fit in so badly. I'd had these friends for so long. They became the cool kids and I felt like my niceness was this this thing that just kind of separated me. You know what I mean? So I tried to fit in. I changed who I was to try to be liked by other people. But that incessant need to be liked and that incessant need to fit in and that fear of being different when that difference is yourself, that can really cap you. And that's what causes, I think, this cycle. It caused a cycle for me of just misunderstanding of what it would actually take to achieve what I wanted to feel inside. Um, so how do you help people understand this idea that in order to be liked by other people, in order to feel that, you actually have to do the paradoxical thing, which is what you want to do, not
Right.
do what other people want you to do.
Another great question. So, the people pleasing paradox is you think that if I do what everyone wants, that's they will start to like me. But what's real is by doing everything that other people want, they actually start to dislike because nobody wants somebody that's constantly saying yes. It creates zero emotional tension. And relationships run on emotional tension, right? One of the reasons that I have been historically pretty good with um, women is because I don't say yes to everything, right? And so one of the challenges I think with this is you actually have to not care what other people think. And that's a lot easier said than done. So the and it's weird because it's like the less you care up to a point, the less you care about what other people think about your decisions, the more people will care about your decision. It's really weird and it doesn't make any sense, but it that is the truth. It's like so everybody seems to think they should have an opinion when you don't care about it, right? And you can see that on my social media following. Like I don't give a shit. Um, but you know, so I think that answers your question.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't know
that
that
does
you ever
answer.
really make the shift. I think you have to actively do it though. Like I think you're constantly asking yourself, like, do I care about that?
Yeah, I also think that personally, that shift of not caring what other people think, I've never quite reached that point where I genuinely just don't care. I've definitely gotten closer to it, but there's this black and white idea propagated that's like you either care or you don't care, and it's so much there's a spectrum, and I've yet to meet someone that genuinely doesn't care about anyone in the world's opinion on themselves.
Sure. Um, I think you always care what other people think. I think you don't care enough to make decisions based on it, right? So I think that's the delineators. Like, I don't care enough about how you feel. And that's, I think that actually might be worse. That might be worse to say is like, I care about what you think, just not enough to give a shit, right? Like, not enough to give any of my energy to it. So, you know, you're 18, and you've got a long road, a good road. I wouldn't pay to be your age again as long as I was alive. But the popularity contest that existed when I was your age is probably the same one that exists now. There's just more video. And that's unfortunate. I actually think that we should outlaw video phones for teenagers. I just don't think it should be a thing. 'Cause I have two kids. I have a kid that's your age. Um, I think it's sad that the popularity contest has moved into the open forums. It doesn't belong there, right? And I think the comparison shopping of humans is really unfortunate. And I think it's a big root of why this has become such a bigger problem.
Yeah, the social media amplifies everything. If there's a problem, social media will amplify it. And I think another thing it does is just put a magnifying glass on the extremities of society.
Sure,
So,
sure,
anyone that stands out in any way is going to be just amplified. And then what we view as normal is actually just uh, a very small minority of people.
sure, sure.
Do you think that in that way, social media has amplified people's expectations um, on people pleasing? So I don't know, maybe someone's gonna see you, right? And they think, oh, I should feel like him right now. Something like that. And they see you because you're a top 1% people displeaser. You are the people displeaser. Um,
Sure.
and so people will compare themselves to you or compare themselves to someone that's at the other end of the spectrum. How do you think that social media's influence this field you're in?
Um, Good question. Um, how do I think social media has influenced the field I'm in?
Yes.
I think it created the field I'm in. I don't think it's the influence. I think people pleasing, as a conversation, as a result of social media. We spend our whole lives watching everybody else's, you know, life unfold perfectly, and we think, well, I should have that. I should have the yacht. I should have the Ferrari. Or your generation, I guess it's the Bugatti. I don't know why you guys made the switch, but whatever. Almost no one's going to get that. And so they did a study on your generation, and the number one job title that you guys are looking for is influencer. And um, every one of you says that you're going to be a millionaire by the time you're 21. It's like 78, 90 to 90%. You're going to be millionaires by the time you're 21. Where on earth did you get that idea? Right? Like, unless you're coming into money, um, that's not happening. So I think I think we're going to see a lot of burnout in your generation. I definitely worry about my kids. You guys have it hard, and I mean, maybe not. I think maybe not as hard in some regard as what my generation, Gen X, was doing. I mean, we're out of our minds, but the I think it's a different version of suffering that we need to be prepared to help our kids with, because I think social media is probably the biggest demon that's ever been created.
So looking into the future, what do you see as a potential main consequence of this?
I think romance will die, and um, and that's sad, because I really do think that love is the meaning of life. I think love and adventure are the meaning of life. Um, and when you're constantly stopping to take a picture of yourself to post on Instagram or a video on TikTok. You lose love for what's around you. You lose sight of the bigger picture. And I think when we think about people pleasing in that vein, I think that's part of it. It's like it's an entirely it's like you have a distant friend who's yourself. Like you don't even know you anymore. And that's what that people pleasing feels like. Is how do I make everybody like me? How do I get noticed? Who cares? You know? What's the difference?
You do that so much that you lose sight of who you actually are.
Yeah. So, it's the old narcissistic trap. They lie so much they believe themselves.
Except now everybody has access to a means to become
Right.
narcissists.
Yep. Every single person. You're not wrong about that.
And so we talked about the consequences. You're not a prophet, but I'd be interested to hear what you think some potential solutions are.
Oh man. I don't know. I think I mean, you know what? Maybe Fight Club had it right. Maybe it's just time for a global reset. Maybe we reset the banks, maybe we reset all of it. And I don't think it's possible. Really, I don't think it's possible. You know, barring major catastrophe, I think the world will continue to go on, and this iteration of the world will change. I don't think I've ever felt this way before, but I'm pretty glad that I won't be here for whatever's next. You know, like I don't want to see 100 years from now. I don't want to know what that is. I'm good. Like 45, 55 more years. But I think I think I'm not going to be one of the prophetic wise that says this is the end of it all. We've been
Right.
saying that. My parents said that. My parents said that. Um,
Everyone said
and
that.
right, every generation thinks they're the last one. Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because we're on to Generation B. Um, so you know, we'll see.
Thank you for watching this clip of the Grateful Podcast featuring Nick Pollard. If you want to see the full episode, click the link right here. It's phenomenal. If you like this, you will love that. Click it. You will not regret it. I know you want to. Right here. Come on. Come on.